What's good, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadowloke, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and are subscribed to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Now, what I wanted to discuss was something I was talking to one of my subscribers, right? And he had told me, hey, but since we're talking about like hypocrisy and stuff like that, right? Like, um, he's tapped in a few of my lives where I have been asked about, Gunner and Dub's channel, right? And I've voiced my perspective, right? And he said, but isn't it hypocritical because he remembers seeing me on Dub's channel before in his lives and commenting and stuff like that, right? And this is true. I never denied it, right? I used to watch his content. I used to be a supporter. I used to be subscribed before, right? Now, me unsubscribing and no longer following his content has absolutely nothing to do with his status in prison, right? Or what kind of yard he paroled from, right? I actually stopped following before any of that even hit the fans, right? The reason I just stopped watching, right, was because the content changed, in my personal opinion, right? I used to follow Does when he was humble, when he used to do the videos from work, when he carried himself well, right? Very respectful, never disrespecting nobody, mind his own, right? And just came to tell his perspectives and his trials and tribulations, right? And I noticed that with time, and the channel growing, behavior started changing, right? He went from beef on YouTube to insulting individuals, making fun of their weight, the way they look, the way they talk, the way they eat, to bullying people, right? Threatening people, being intoxicated, um, and just a whole bunch of like negativity and insults, right? Like where he's bashing channels, making fun of them because they have a little bit of subscribers or a little bit of viewers. Before, he was grateful for every viewer that he got and every view that he got, right? And he used to be like, the numbers doesn't mean anything, the fact that people just tap in. But now it's like, oh, with your 3,000 and your 1,000, you get what I'm saying? Like, his behavior just completely did you know a 180, right? Like, so he started bullying people and insulting people and thinking that he's higher than people. And before, he wasn't like that, right? That's the reason I think this content. So that's just the reason why I just backed off from the content, right? Because like I said, all that gangster shit, it's irrelevant on the internet. I'm not somebody who comes on here and watches these individuals and look up to them or praise them or think that like they real, like I never met them in real life. They're not my camaradas. They're not, I don't know them. So whatever status that they have, it's irrelevant to me, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm not looking to take down anybody or insult anybody or to deteriorate people from watching their content, because what am I gonna get out of that? I mean, I get nothing out of that. Like, them succeeding on YouTube doesn't affect me in any type of way. I mean, I'm not losing sleep. I'm not losing hours at work. I mean, it's not affecting me negative in any type of way. And if I bring them down, what am I going to get out of that? Absolutely nothing, right? It's not like all of a sudden my channel's going to be blowing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't see the purpose of any of that stuff, right? So there would be no need for me to do any of that kind of stuff. To me, it's all irrelevant, bro, because like I said, I don't idolize nobody on here, right? So for people to be like, damn, you hear this or you heard that, like, what do you think about that? Like, oh, that's crazy. But in all true reality, I really don't care for it. you know, Whether they're solid or they're not. Like I said, it's not affecting me in my real world. Um, you get what I mean? Um, I just I dig the content that I dig, and if I don't dig it, then I don't dig it. But that's what it is. It's just because the content has changed, in my personal opinion, right? And behaviors have changed. But that's the reason for it. It has nothing to do with no gangster, trying to be gangster, trying to stay face, or any of that shit, right? Because like I said, none of that shit matters on the internet. Now, I do get it from people's perspective, like, because people tell me like, well, they're doing good things if they're looking to change their lives around and stuff like that. Like when I do my lives and I give my opinions, I'm just giving my opinions based on the evidence, right? Like it's not like I'm trying to take cheap shots at them because he says that he sees that. Why kind of talk negative on them on the lives, right? When I'm being asked questions, and the thing is that I'm just being honest, bro. It makes sound negative, but that's just because it's honest. It's based off of facts, you know. Because if individuals really did change their lives and really don't care about the street life and all of that, then they wouldn't care if they had paperwork. They wouldn't care if they paroled off a SNY yard. They wouldn't care if they were actually on a SNY yard. They wouldn't care if they told or if they cooperated. They wouldn't care about none of that information. Why would they try to hide that information if they change their lives, if they're bettering themselves, if they don't care about the gangster world? Then why keep it a secret? The only reason you're keeping it a secret is because you still care, because you still want to be seen as this. Because there's no other reason for it, bro. Unless you can give me a reason, why somebody would hide that kind of information when they are looking better themselves and they change their whole lives. Then why do they care to be seen as solid or a snitch if they don't really care about the gangster life and they're now living their civilian life? Then they still want to be seen as solid and hard, no? So there's a contradiction there then. So then now brings you back to the content. Is the content really to help people better themselves and to keep them off the streets if these individuals are still trying to proclaim and be seen as the street life? You know what I mean? Like that's merely what I'm saying. It's not that I'm trying to like bash these individuals. It's like if we're talking about understanding of why people do what they do, right, and everything has purpose, then I mean, what logical reason is there if not that, right? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm just saying. Like, I'm being asked questions. I'm merely just answering them. I mean, people see on the lives I'm being asked, I answer. You know what I mean? The subscribers are the ones that want to know this stuff. It's not like I just bring this shit out of the blue and just start talking about it. I'm being asked questions. I just merely answer them with honest and facts. Even when they try to bait me into, insulting them or calling them out a name, I never do, right? And I only speak on what I do know. And that's merely it. So it's not that I'm looking to try to take these individuals down. And like I said, I don't care for none of the work and if they've been exposed or not, because like I said, I mean it ain't nothing to me, bro. You know what I mean? It's irrelevant to me. You know what I'm saying? Why people care so much for that info, I have no idea, right? But I get it. If individuals are proclaiming to be one way, right, and saying they change their lives around, but yet they're still, perpetrating this type of life, then the hypocrisy is crazy. And you can't be mad at individuals for merely calling that out, right? But in overall, like when it comes to me, I just merely don't care about that kind of stuff, bro. I mean, there's channels I don't even watch, and not because I'm hating, right? It's just difference in opinions, Um, but overall, that's just my opinions. Maybe now you understand better now, right? From my perspective. But I'm just saying, what are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. If Shadow, we out.